Anita State Park. We're going to do a little hiking there, and we're going to talk about what we've done in the last week, weight loss wise. Just as a reminder, last week my final weight was 243.6 pounds. Yeah, I got something for you, man. I'll get you one. We got to take a break here because he needs a snack. And then at today's video, we'll talk about how much weight I lost this week. And we're also going to talk about something I'm going to try differently for the upcoming week. Alright, so we'll see you guys at Lake Anita State Park. Right? Woo woo! Right up here. That's where it's at. That's where the video's coming. You're supposed to look at the camera. Yeah, that's better. Alright. Let's go!
Walking high where the wild winds play, me and my dog chasing the day. Paws on the dirt and boots on the stone, out in the world where we both feel home. Oh, my hiking dog, you're my trailside guide, with your wagging tail and your endless stride, through the forest green to the mountain's face. You make the wild feel like the safest place. You sniff the air while I map the trail. Together we're strong, no way we'll fail. The world out here feels big and free, but it's just you and me under this canopy. Oh, my hiking dog, you're my trailside guide, with your wagging tail and your endless stride, through the forest green to the mountain's face. You make the wild feel like the safest place. When the stars come out and the fire burns low, you curl up tight in the moonlight glow. Every bark echoes like a song in the night. You remind me why this feels so right. Oh, my hiking dog, you're my trailside guide, with your wagging tail and your endless stride, through the forest green to the mountain's face. You make the wild feel like the safest place. Walking high where the wild winds play, me and my dog chasing the day. Paws on the dirt and boots on the stone, out in the world where we both feel home. Oh, my hiking dog, you're my trailside guide, with your wagging tail and your endless stride, through the forest green to the mountain's face.
We have made it to Anita Lake State Park. I think the town that's close to here is Anita. This is one of Iowa's newest parks, built in 1960, if I remember right. It is a man-made lake And it definitely has some open water for being in the wintertime. So there must be out of a reservoir. Must be flowing water into it somewhere. It's about 24 degrees Fahrenheit and small breeze about 5 to 10 miles an hour. And as you can see, plenty of Canadian geese out here. There's a lot. Hopefully you can hear them honking. Let's go see if Gab wants to get a drink. Hey bud, you want a drink? Hey, you want a drink? Get a drink. Over here. Get a drink. Cabby and the geese like the lake water. All right. You know, I really don't know about any trails here, but we'll see what we can find. So in the meantime, follow along. So before I get on with the main topic of today's video, which is again the hardcore carnivore, but one specific area I wanted to talk about is the why. Why do the hardcore carnivore? I just wanted to answer a question that one of my buddies had, who is doing the hardcore carnivore diet with me. He started on the 1st of January as well, and by the way, today is the 11th. His question was, how many calories are you eating? And to be straight up and honest, I don't count calories. And you know, his follow-up is, well, how many calories are we supposed to eat? And we don't really count the calories. What I do is I base how much I eat on when I feel full once I start eating. So basically, when I feel full, I stop eating. Now that's not a uncomfortable full, Thanksgiving turkey dinner kind of full. It's the, hey, I feel good, I feel satiated, I'm done eating. And when I broke it down into calories for him, between the beef, butter, and eggs. I think it was around 2200 to 2500 calories is what I consumed, and that's in one meal. Again, I'm an OMAD, one meal a day. That's what OMAD means. But that's not every day. Some days it's more, and some days it's less. Like if I eat a pound of chuck steak, and that's all I eat for the day, that's under 1,000 calories. But if I'm full, I'm feeling full and satiated, I'm done eating for the day. I don't need to eat anything else. So it's kind of a simple way to answer it and a difficult way, because I'm not really giving you a straight up answer, other than you eat till you're full. And you get full a lot sooner than you would think on most days just eating beef, butter, and eggs. You really do. Like I said, there are some days I'm eating 2,500, and that's a lot, you would say, in one meal. That's like a Big Mac. But again, I think I said it last week, calories and the macronutrient react differently in your body. If I ate 2,500 calories of carbohydrates, that would react in my body much differently than it would 2,500 calories of protein and fat. And part of why I'm doing the hardcore carnivore will explain that a bit more. I am a type 2 diabetic, which means I have too much insulin in my bloodstream. So just to give you an idea of the whole really, really basic, I'm still learning of what this really means. But what it means is, like, when you eat like a carbohydrate, you consume the carbohydrate, it goes into your bloodstream as sugar. So the carbohydrate is processed into blood sugar, and that blood sugar is in your bloodstream. And when those levels are too high, the levels of the sugar are too high in your bloodstream, insulin is produced by the pancreas, and that insulin then goes to the cells by way of basically a straw, or receptors. It binds to the cell wall, telling the cell to open up. Let's get some of these blood sugars out of the bloodstream. We'll put them into the cell, and in the cell they're stored as fat, which at first you think sounds bad, but that's not. That's how the body's supposed to work. So why hardcore carnivore? Well, I would say the main reason is because I'm not sure what it would be, but my body is insulin resistant. I don't know if you've heard that term before, but basically what it means is that when my body's producing insulin, it does not the insulin does not pull glucose out of my bloodstream into my cells. And that's what insulin is supposed to do. You definitely need insulin in your body. And I do have it. I'm just resistant to it, meaning the insulin doesn't pull glucose or pull the blood sugar out of my bloodstream as fast as it needs to in order to keep my body running good. Like if I had no insulin at all, which would be a type 1 diabetic, that would be bad. I could literally eat anything I wanted and not gain weight. Definitely the downsides of that is that since you can't save any of that blood sugar, your body will basically degenerate from the inside out if you're type 1. So that's why they have to take insulin. That's how the body's supposed to work. That extra sugar in your blood gets deposited into the cell and stored as fat, and it's used as a reserve. So that's the important part. That fat is a reserve at that point. Okay, so when you don't have sugar in your bloodstream, your body reverts back to using the fat. When you're insulin resistant, the cells and their receptors will not allow insulin into the cell in the quantities needed in order to remove the sugar out of the bloodstream. So basically what that really means is you've got too much sugar in your bloodstream, and that's bad. Why is it bad? That causes inflammation. It causes long-term Alzheimer's. You age quicker with that. It is very unhealthy to have high levels of blood sugar. And also what it does is that blood sugar, that gets deposited around the body in actual fat around the muscles. So like you see somebody with visceral fat, that's your belly fat, it's more than likely that they're either diabetic, or type 2 diabetic, or pre-diabetic. Or they're coming. It's going to happen to them when you see that fat around the belly. And that's the worst fat to have on the body. And why is that? It's because it's around your organs, and that you don't want that. A lot of this fat too gets deposited on your liver. So if you've ever heard of fatty liver disease, that's where that's coming from. It's almost the same thing as being an alcoholic. And like I've known for years now, that some people, their breath smells like they've been drinking alcohol, but it's because they're diabetic. It has something to do with their liver. I don't know all the science behind that. I don't know all the science behind insulin resistance, but I know I have it. That explains my fatty belly. And so why am I doing hardcore carnivore after explaining all of that? It's because carbs, of all the macronutrients, which would be carbohydrates, protein, and fat, carbohydrates release sugar in greater amounts and faster, especially ultra-processed food carbohydrates, faster than protein and fat do. In fact, fat releases the least amount of blood sugar or glucose, blood sugar into your body, which is why hardcore carnivore, which is protein and fat, I'm using that to reverse my insulin resistance. Well, that's my plan. I'm hoping it works out that way. But so the question, why hardcore carnivore? Because protein and fat release less glucose into the bloodstream, so the blood sugar, which would require less insulin to be needed in my body, so my body's not demanding more and more insulin to get rid of that blood sugar. And in turn, it starts, instead of feeding off of sugar, which is its primary source of energy, when it's there, it starts burning fat. It starts burning the fat in your body. That's why I'm doing that. And there's another additive part of that I'll bring up after Cab goes pee or poop, whichever one it is. Or he's just sniffing somebody else's poop. Let's go. Come on. So the second part of why I am doing hardcore carnivore is that I want to start producing ketones. Ketones are another form of energy that your body can use to keep on keeping, I guess. But what has to happen before that is my insulin really has to drop. Like the amount of insulin needed in my body has to drop. I do that again by eating protein and fat. It's kind of hard to explain because, again, I don't understand all of it. I do know that when you're creating ketones, which everybody's heard of the keto diet, right? That was a huge fad. Well, it's not really a fad. I mean, that's literally a lifestyle, which is a low carb diet, not a no carb, but a low carb. Keto is. That's where they get it, ketones. You're in ketasis. Is that right? Ketasis. When you're producing ketones and your body is running off ketones and the fat reserves, the over reserves that you have. This way, bud. This way. Yep. I know the roads are boring. So why talk about ketones? The main reason is that the ketones are an indicator of your not the resistance of the insulin, but the amount of insulin that's in your body, that is being produced by your body. And again, what I want to do is reduce that amount so that I can reverse the resistance, repair the cells, which will do that on their own, I'm hoping. And really what I'm trying to repair in there is the mitochondria, which is the engine of a cell. And I want to get my body back into a balance of insulin being pulled into the cell as a fat reserve and being used when blood sugar is not available. But the ketones, you can get your reading on how many ketones are in your body, basically, using that with your glucose level in your body to determine where you are with your insulin levels. Again, this is all about insulin. This way, bud. Let's go. Let's break the rules and go do not enter. Do you think that applies to us? I don't think so. But that's the whole point of it. So what I have done, I ordered on Amazon a glucose and a ketone monitor. It's the same machine. They can do both. It is 2 different readings, 2 different tests. But it's just like taking your glucose reading. If you're a diabetic, you know what I'm talking about. It's just a blood strip. What I want to do is use those 2 numbers to determine where I'm at with my insulin. Now, that's not an actual insulin reading, but it gives you a really good idea of your insulin levels. The glucose alone, which I can drive down, which I already have, right? It's been 11 days without any carbohydrates, any sugars being introduced into my body. None. So my glucose, my blood glucose, is down. I know that without even measuring it. But that doesn't mean that I'm producing less insulin in my body. I mean, I've been a fat guy most of my life. So I've damaged cells quite a bit. And I need to know if what I'm doing is working insulin-wise in order to get a healthier body. So using those 2 numbers, whether it's glucose or ketones, I need both numbers in order to get that idea of my insulin. So I wanted to add that all food, no matter whether it's carbohydrate, protein, or fat, does cause your body to produce insulin. You're not completely cutting out the production of insulin. But by removing carbohydrates from the diet, it cuts out the overproduction of insulin. And that's what I need to do. And I would say even, like carbohydrates right now is none. No carbohydrates for me. Eventually, I'm probably going to say, hey, a salad sounds good. And that fresh vegetable carbohydrate is good. And that, a whole food is going to definitely produce less of a spike of insulin in my body. Again, protein and fat will produce less, but even if you are consuming like a protein shake, that's a highly processed food product that will produce more insulin, will cause the production of more insulin in your body than would, say, a steak or a hamburger. The more processing that a food goes through, the higher the spike in your blood sugar and the higher the spike in the insulin production. And that's what I'm trying to prevent. Well, we're back. We just finished hiking the Lake Anita loop. We didn't follow the All Trails guide all the way through, so we ended up a bit more than what they said. They said 4.4. We ended up with 6.05, which is the way it normally is, right, my bruh? Always do a little bit more. We got to sniff, search things out. So that was a good walk. Yeah, we went all the way around the lake. It was a nice walk. A lot of it was that concrete path, which is not overly exciting, really, but gave us some distance, which was nice. And then the only thing left to say is what my big reveal is after 11 days on the hardcore carnivore diet. Again, just beef, butter, and eggs. 11 days, down 16.2 pounds. So now I'm at 234.4. That's a lot of weight to lose in 11 days. Again, I know a lot of that is water weight, but it's definitely bringing inflammation down. My knee still gets a little sore. It was sore today, especially walking on concrete. But it does help. I can tell that my steps are more confident when I'm walking, so I can definitely see a benefit there. I'm feeling good. The cravings are still there for carbs. Crackers. Those crackers get us all the time, don't they? Those damn wheat thins. Those damn wheat thins. But what we're doing is working. Cabby is down to about a small handful of kibble each meal. So he's primarily eating the dark meat chicken, about a cup twice a day, and a little handful of kibble. And sometimes I throw a little cheese in there for him. I don't get it, but he does. But he's had some messy ones, so I hope he gets fat tolerant here pretty quickly. I also do give him some beef. When I'm eating, he gets a little bit of leftover what I get. But we're both getting stronger, right? Yeah, both getting stronger. Both losing weight. You don't have near as much to lose as I do. But you got a little, to be honest. There's a little bit you could lose. But anyway, 16.2 after 11 days. That's a good start. Got quite a ways to go just to get through the month that I've committed to for the hardcore carnivore. I don't expect that amount of weight loss every week, even that rate, even this next coming week. I don't expect it. I am going to do something a little bit different this week. Normally I usually eat one meal a day, and I eat it in the late afternoon, early evening. But next week, I'm working a 10 in the morning till 6:30 at night shift. And so I don't really want to eat that late, and so I'm going to eat in the mornings instead of the afternoons. I'm going to see if that has an effect. Does it change my hunger? The past couple of weeks I haven't been really hungry. I mean, I eat when I come home from work or at the end of the day, but not like starving hungry, just hungry sometimes. Other times I'm like, it's time to eat, let's eat. But this week I'm just going to do in the mornings, and I'm going to see how I feel from that. So we'll see you next week. Hopefully you'll join us. Hopefully you'll share this video so other people can see what we're doing and see the progress that we're having. And again, if you want to join us with the Hardcore Carnivore Challenge, please do. You can start at any time. Like, subscribe, share, and comment down below what you're feeling if you're on the hardcore diet. See you next week. It's so weird talking to a camera. It's just weird. Especially when you only have 52 subscribers. We need more subscribers. Yeah, we do. Should we head home? Okay, let's do it. Let's head home.